Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a question that came into customer service, and this one comes in from Ken King. And Ken says he watches a lot of other websites and gets their newsletters and some of their videos, and he said one just sent him a video about putting a tee in the end of the club, a driver or whatever, and one about 2 feet behind the ball or tee to check to see if the club shaft is in the right position 3/4 of the way through the swing. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Their point is that the arm should be in the L position. You're talking about this position right here, where we talk about when we're over the toe line. The arm should be in L position to the shaft, okay? And where we want that, and the club is vertical at 12 o'clock. The arm should be in the L position, the wrist cocked, and the tee in the end of the shaft should be pointing at a tee about 3 feet behind the ball on a tee. So here is the question. Where would we put the tee in the ground in relationship to the ball for PPGS? It seems like it should be about 2 feet behind the ball, but halfway between the toe and the target line. I think this would be a good tip for us to check out shaft alignment pretty easily. Okay, and he even sent me a link to go look at it, and I did look at it. Okay, so here's what's going on. I'm going to set up my arrows here. Okay, and I'm going to say that I'm going to swing this way. So this one's going to be at the target line, because we're talking about in the backswing here. So that should be pretty close to the target line. And then I'm going to put this one parallel. Okay, and we're talking about a tee in the butt of the club, so I'm going to stick the tee right in here. And there was a comment about the other tee should be about 3 feet behind the ball on the tee line. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one right here. It's not going to be quite, I'm going to stand at the other end of the tee, so this will be about 3 feet right here. All right, so what he's saying is when they get up to the L position, so to speak, or as I call it, over the toe line, the club vertical to the ground, he said at that point they want that tee pointing at that tee back there, which, as you can see, puts them quite flat. In fact, I heard the man say that he said that at this position that's a light club and that's a heavy club. Well, if it falls backwards, it's a heavy club. If it falls straight down, it's a light club. All right, so the question from Ken King is, where would it point for the peak performance swing? And he was thinking, and he says it would point between, it seems to likely be about 2 feet behind the ball, but halfway between the target lines. So he's saying that tee should be pointing somewhere about here. Okay, halfway between the aiming line, the target line, and the toe line. Well, if it did that, you're a little bit more vertical, but you're still not vertical enough. All right? In reality, if I go into catcher's mitt and up the tree, and I have my arms over my toe line, as I've always said, the only part of the arm that's definitely over the toe line is the upper arm, from the elbow to the shoulder. Because we're on a diagonal incline plane, the elbow to the hands and the club will be slightly inside. But when I get up here, if I get to that position right there, the tee should basically be pointing pretty much at the toe line, because it's vertical. See that? Straight up and down. Now, if I get to a perfect 3/4 and I've gotten a little here, and it's still pointing up and down, now it'll probably be pointing right about there, because that's where, as I've always said, if you've made just about a right about turn, a line drawn from the butt of the club to the ground should come down at about your ankles. Okay? But at this point, where I've gone in the mitt and I'm getting up the tree and I've set my angle, and notice my left wrist isn't cupped, it's flat as it always is. Up here, that club will be a little bit here at the top of the backswing, but exactly at this point, it's going to probably be pretty close to the toe line, or maybe just slightly inside of it. But it won't be pointing out there, and it's certainly not pointing over there. Now, there's been some people over the years, they created lights you could stick on the bottom of your club, and it would track the line. Many of them always wanted, the first thing they wanted you to do is, once you get here, they wanted you to track that line all the way up. They wanted you to track it back down, hit the club, and then it should be tracking it when you came around on that side. So they had lights coming out. I made these swinger sticks that had a light on the top and the bottom. That's too flat. I've even seen where people wanted this thing pointing a foot or two above the line. Now, I mean, if you get much flatter than that, you're gonna need to tee the ball up here like a tee ball and hit it. I mean, because from there, all that's left is you got to come down some serious over the top and come down and get it. So it's a great question. I know these things are out there, so I'm glad Mr. King brought that up. And we're vertical. It should be pointing by the time in the L at the toe line or slightly inside of it. And at the very top of your 3/4 backswing, because of that slight inclined plane that we're swinging on, it should never get any farther back than your ankle. If it was pointing and you got it pointing to the ground, it should be kind of no farther than your ankle, because, as I said, the lower arm from the elbow to the hand and the club will be slightly inside, but the upper arm's on the toe line. If the upper arm ever gets inside that toe line, is now at an angle to it, now you're deep and you're in the sacred burial ground. Really in the sacred burial ground. All right? So ours is pointing down to the ground, way back here. Toe line or even slightly inside at the very top of your backswing. But never, that's even too flat, and that is way too flat. And inside, that's all rotational. And that's going to get you twisting and turning. Club's going to be heavy, and it's going to come in, you're going to come in trapped, and you're going to have to somehow try to get it around your body, and that's when you start coming up and adds more out and over the top and very steep angle of attack. Whereas from here, we're just straight up, straight down, with the hands squaring up at impact, and into the forward mitt and up the tree, and do that, and you're going to see that you'll hit it much more solid straight, very likely longer, shoot those lower scores, and your body's going to like you for it, because as we know, the PPGS is the body-friendly swing, and we got limited turn and use our arms to get our speed, swinging a rock on the end of a string. Well, this is the rock, this is the string, and the string never swings any faster and more consistently than when it's straight up and down, and that's where we are, in the mitt and up the tree, come back down to impact, and then in the mitt and up the tree on that side. So we're swinging as close to a Ferris wheel as humanly possible. And that's maximizing the laws of physics and the way our body's designed to swing, because our arms only swing in front of our body. So when you maximize the laws of physics and swing your body the way it's designed, you're going to get really good results, hit better shots, and shoot those lower scores. That's it for the search for today on where does the tee point in the bottom of the club. And keep it pointing near your toe line, you're going to be vertical, and you'll be playing better golf. That's it for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.